All right, so 27. Never let anybody deter you from what you're willing to sacrifice and work for. Let me say that again. Never let anybody deter you from what you're willing to sacrifice and work for. Now, this is when we got to have certain intelligence come into play as far as regarding our humility and that ego. A lot of times our ego will tell us to say, "No, I could do that. I'll do that. I could do that," without thinking about, are we actually willing to do what it takes to do that? Are we looking at this logically, or are we just responding emotionally like we talked about it earlier? Somebody challenges you, or somebody disrespects you, or somebody, whatever it may be. Are we willing to sacrifice and work for something? And if we are, don't ever let anybody deter you from it. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, you may think twice about, whether this is the right thing for you, whether this is morally acceptable, whether this aligns with you. That's a different question. But as far as allowing somebody to convince you and deter you from your knowingness, I don't know if knowingness is the right way, but I was going to say belief that you can do something, because you got to go beyond belief. You have to know that you can accomplish something. You have to know that you will accomplish it. And once you accept that you're willing to do the sacrifice and the work for it, you've done your research, you understand what it takes, because you're always going to have to learn as you go, because we can think that we know what something takes, but until we actually get in the game, then things may change. But that's another thing that we have to know, that we're willing to do. We're willing to adapt. We're willing to understand that even though I draw out this play this way and draw out the plan this way, there's going to be certain hiccups that come, certain challenges. And once I understand and accept and am committed to the sacrifice and the work and the mindset that goes into that, then don't ever let anybody deter you from thinking that you can't, or accomplish something. It just is what it is. Don't let them deter you from it. You guys tell me your experience with this. Have you ever been in a situation where people were sleeping on you and you felt like, nah, I'm willing to go out and get this, and they maybe didn't understand, and or maybe you've been in situations where it's the opposite. Oh, I thought I was willing to do this. Man, listen, I don't. What's that saying where your mouth writes a check that your butt can't cash? Yeah, that's saying. So some of us, we've gotten into situations like that, perhaps. But let's move on to number 28. Let me get some water. Number 28. The hardest part of being a man is being a man when masculinity isn't popular. This is when it's needed the most. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. I'm going to keep this very short, because we need to move on. The things that I associate with being a man is doing a lot of like the dirty work, all the discipline stuff, the things that don't necessarily get you to glory, holding people accountable, all these different things, holding yourself accountable first and foremost. But that can be very hard. And maybe we see that happening right now. Not maybe, we see it happening right now in this current society that we're living in. Masculinity isn't popular. It's actually, I mean, think about the whole toxic masculinity thing, how they had a war against masculinity. There's a war against masculinity. Just is what it is. It's not as fun. It's not the fun stuff. It's not, we know how this goes. We talked about it before. So I don't need to get into it, but you know how um, when dad's home compared to mom may be the fun one, not the disciplinarian, compared to dad coming in. Dad gonna make us eat these vegetables. He gonna turn on the news at the dinner table. We trying to watch Martin. I'm just recalling experiences. You know what I'm saying? But the hardest part of being a man is being a man when masculinity isn't popular. And I think the most important part of this is the part that I have after that, which says this is when it's needed the most. So, fellas, you do what you want with it, but that's and ladies, y'all do what y'all want with it. But that's just something that I've noticed. So maybe your experience is a little bit different, and I welcome you to share your experience as well. Because, like I said, my experience ain't, look, it's just my experience. All right, this is my experience. Everybody has their own, and yeah. Number 29. A genuine apology goes a long way, and do it early. We talked about this before. A genuine, emphasis on genuine apology goes a long way, and do it early. The longer you wait to make an apology, the harder it's going to be to make it feel genuine, to make it believable as genuine. So, a genuine apology, do it early. And there's actually a lot of value that comes. There's a lot of respect that can be gained from somebody making an apology being genuine. All right. And if you're going to do it, why not do it early? Because it's just going to make it even harder to come across as genuine. You're going to have to do more and more when the longer that you wait, the longer that you're stubborn, standing on whatever you're standing on, rather than just acknowledging that you're wrong. If you believe you're wrong. So that's the first thing. Remember, I said genuine. So
Ew. Sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're going to get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are going to continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video, and I'll see y'all soon. Ew.
All right, number 30. Waiting for the perfect time. I was gonna use this one as a different one. This is a joke. I should have put LOL. Hold on. Let me change this. I promise you this was supposed to be a joke. Y'all know I wouldn't have changed it if not. So let's put the LOL. I was actually gonna make a reference to the cemetery. Like when you wait for the perfect time, you end up in the cemetery. Just it is what it is, but I wanted to make it a little lighter. But I guess I ended up telling you that the dark part anyway. But waiting for the perfect time. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me not put it on there. Let me not pick on any of the girls. Waiting for the perfect time. I changed it. It's like waiting. Hold on. Let me change that. Let me not picking on anybody here. Waiting for the perfect time is like waiting for, hold on, yourself. I believe there's an R there, right? There's an R there, and it's not silent. Ha 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 ha. Anybody catch that one? Nah, y'all probably didn't. Waiting for the perfect time is like waiting for yourself to change. It ain't gonna happen. Most of the time, you don't change, right? Matter of fact, the only time you're gonna change is in my opinion, is if you do embrace the fact that there is no perfect time. When we wait for the perfect time, you're not going to change, man. It's just never going to happen. The perfect time's never going to be there. The perfect time, matter of fact, the perfect time is now. I should have put it in air quotes, the perfect time, because it's what we perceive as the perfect time. Let me put that in just so for when people are, I got to make sure I make these changes. This is my Bible that I'm having this convo with y'all. So eventually when I have some kids and their kids, they're going to be able to go on and log on and hear what I gave 38 lessons when I turned 38. They're going to look at this. So I got to make sure they got it right. Waiting for the perfect time is like waiting for yourself to change. It ain't going to happen unless you're willing to act when it's not the perfect time, or to embrace the fact that now is the only perfect time. So, all right, I'm getting a little long-winded. I think y'all get exactly what I mean in that one. All right, home stretch. Come on. We're almost there. We're at 31. Matter of fact, all right, so I said bet on yourself was my favorite. This is definitely, if that's the 1A, then this is the 1B. Or this may be the 1A. I don't know. I control my own destiny. There's not one, I can't have one victim bone in me. I control my own destiny. My destiny is the most important thing, perhaps, right? Creating my personal legend, living in my purpose, striving for that purposeful abundance that we always talk about. And to embrace the fact that I control it. I control the outcome of my life. I control the outcome of my life. And if you disagree and don't believe that you control the outcome of your life, then you just took a lot of your power away. So you may say, oh, that's insane. He doesn't control this. What about this? What about this that could factor into it? You could get sick. You get up. Look, you believe whatever you believe. You put whatever in your mind. If I'm delusional and it's going to help me win, then I guess I'm just finna be delusional. And we'll see where thinking the other way gets you. So that's my mindset on it. Intentionality, number 32, intentionality is rewarded by the universe. Being very specific on the things that we want in life and being intentional. Y'all know I'm a big believer in energy. So being very clear with the universe, and the best way to be clear with the universe and intentional with the universe is to show things in actions, to have our actions align with the things that we want to attain in life, the person that we want to become in life, the impact that we want to have in this world. Have our actions align with that. That's what intentionality is to me. Then your actions align with it. Now you're thinking it. Now you go from not believing it or thinking it. Now you know it. Now you're expecting the outcome. So that's the most powerful thing. That's what the universe rewards, in my opinion. So that's just my opinion. Y'all may have a different experience, but in my experience, the universe rewards intentionality the most. So that's what I'm choosing. All right. That's my intentions. Number 33. Stop expecting everyone to see the world through your eyes. Your lenses are shaped by your experiences. Look, we can't expect, and this is a reminder that I always have to make to myself. I'm talking to myself on this one. So let me rephrase. Stop expecting everyone to see the world through my eyes. My lenses are shaped by my experiences. The things that I've seen. That's how we draw a lot of the conclusions and a lot of our thoughts and feelings on particular things that may come up in this world. Based on our experience. Well, this is what happened with me, so I think that you should do this, or this is what I've seen. Oh, this person got in trouble with that, so you should go this way. Well, that's that person. That's the what. Yes, we want to be able to bring as many different perspectives to the table as possible, which is that's why we always talk about it. However, we have to understand that our perspective is just our perspective, and it's based on our experiences, and our experiences, whether we acknowledge it or not, um, don't outweigh everybody else's experiences. Now, for you, they may, but when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're trying to get them to see the world through how you see things, imagine how arrogant that is. You don't see the world through how that other person sees it. I know you're right, right? And I'm talking to myself. I know I'm right, but damn, like I don't. I'm being a little bit, facetious, but um, I can't expect people to see the world through my lenses because I don't see the world through y'all lenses. I'll be totally honest. I don't know what a lot of y'all see. It just is what it is. But yeah, stop expecting everyone to see that. We don't need to get into that. Appreciate everybody's perspective. Welcome everybody's perspective. It's only going to inform us. And I would think that the more information that we get, it allows us to make the most logical decision. All right. So that's what we're leaning on. Number 34. We're almost there. We're almost there. A righteous man will never be given the flowers he deserves until he's no longer accessible to the people he wants to receive the flowers from the most. Hold on. My fault. I think I didn't write the from there. Hold on. The people he wants to receive the flowers from the most. My apologies. It's all good. A righteous man. We talked about this before when I said heroes aren't appreciated until their demise. But a righteous man, in my opinion, you're never going to receive the flowers. What I talked about being a man. A lot of times being a man is having those difficult conversations, calling people out, holding people accountable, holding yourself accountable. A lot of times we don't even appreciate ourselves. We don't give ourselves the flowers. So how can we expect somebody else to? We not celebrating our own achievements. We waiting on somebody else to celebrate them. You know what I mean? And then we mad that they not celebrating, and the whole time you not celebrating. That's like me getting pissed off, like, these people ain't celebrating my birthday. You know what I mean? Like you hear people get mad at their birthdays and stuff like that. Well, shit, bro, you ain't what you doing to celebrate you? So, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Now people could take that for what it is. For me, I hear that and I'm like, all right, I got to start making sure that I'm doing a little bit better job of giving out flowers to other people as well as giving out flowers to myself, perhaps. So that's just is what it is. Let me look at, all right. So this one, if there was one that I probably should have saved for last, it's probably this one, but I don't know. Like I told you, I didn't do this in any particular order, but there is nothing like love from parents. Nothing like love from parents or whoever's playing that parental role for you. You know, it may come in different sources. So whether it's your parents, whether there's nothing like love from there. And I'm pretty sure people who maybe don't have that particular love from their parents, I'm sure that they can appreciate it as well. But I can imagine that this, you know, when I have some kids soon, I want to have some kids soon. I can imagine that this will escalate, and that this will probably go to the top of my list. When I said the whole bet on myself, and I think there was what was the other one that I said, that was one of my top ones. But you know, this will probably be one of the things that I can know the most and stand on the most. There's nothing like love from parents. So just understanding that, hopefully it allows us to give our parents some grace, and what comes with the love is what comes with love in a lot of areas. A lot of times the things that you love, you may be a little critical of. You may you know, you want the best for so much that, you know, sometimes your parents want the best for you so much that they're critical of you, and you feel like, yeah, you always own me. Like, damn, like get off me a little bit. But there's nothing like love from parents. You know, our parents, you know, maybe that's why we should always give them a little bit, always give them a lot of grace. Give them a lot of grace, because there's no love that in my opinion, this is my opinion as a son. You know what I mean? I can only say from my perspective, but this is my 38 shit. This is my 38 life lessons. And yeah. So this is just me sharing it with y'all. All right, you guys get to share you guys can share your 38 life lessons too, or however many you want to do. But that's mine. So yeah. So number 36, never blame others for not changing more than you hold yourself accountable for staying. Matter of fact, let me change that a little bit. For not changing. Um, Matter of fact, I'll leave it what it was. And I want to be clear in what I'm saying here. This is I feel like when people read it, it's going to be more so taken just as maybe like a relationship or something like that. But no, it's across the board. It's across the board, like a job, anything. You could have a friendship, you could have any relationship that we have, or any experience that we have. Never blame others that you want to change, and that in the dynamic of that situation, more than you hold yourself accountable for staying. You could sit here and say like, "Oh, I want my job to pay me this. I want my job to," you know, you're blaming them for not budging on the fact that they won't give you a raise. But meanwhile, clearly you don't feel that you deserve that raise, because you're still here working for the same amount. So that's kind of like the mindset around this. Never blame others for not changing more than you hold yourself accountable for staying in whatever that situation is. So, and we almost at 10 o'clock. Come on, we got to finish this before 10. All right, so 37. 37. I like this one. I like this one. Let me make sure I get on there. You very rarely mean as much to the world as you think you should. I'm doing like this, like y'all feeling it. Now I'm talking about me just feeling it. I tell you, this is my lessons. You very rarely mean as much to the world as you think you should. Man, this is one that I have to constantly remind myself. You know, I sit back here, I'm like, yo, all these lames that these people following, they listening to, like, what you mean? They need to tap in with me. Like, you very rarely mean as much to the world as you think you should. Nothing wrong with that. Just give you something to keep working towards. Just give you something to keep working towards. And maybe we should be more focused on meaning as much to our families and our friends and our village and our community, more rather than what the world gives us. Because the world, that's ego, right? That's fame. That's all these other things. Maybe we should just be doing it to become the best versions of ourselves for the people that do value us, rather than chasing acceptance from the rest of the world. So, you know, maybe that's the right way to receive that particular lesson. The last one: never lose who you are trying to guide someone else. This reminds me of maybe I was thinking about flying. I don't know what I was thinking about, but you know how they say put your mask on first. You know, never lose who you are trying to guide someone else, because then it's just a bad situation for everybody. You know, people may have a contract with you for work or whatever it may be. You could be in a relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be family. And me trying to convince you, let's say that you're locked in with me for me being this person. That's what you're attracted to. That's what you respect. But now I'm putting all my energy into trying to guide someone else. Maybe I'm overextending myself, all these different things to where now I'm losing who I am. And that's a very difficult decision to make in a lot of ways. But we just, I just feel that, you know, we just have to be very careful in the energy that we give out and not lose who we are, you know, trying to at the expense of trying to guide somebody else to get to where we feel, because a lot of times it's our ego to where we feel that they should be. Damn, I can't front. At the end of 38, I thought that there would be like a I thought YouTube would give me like a big, like there'd be some sparkles coming across the screen, a congratulations, you made it through 38, all this other stuff. But let me get back to the chat. Dang, y'all really holding it down, man. Y'all really holding it down. I see Train. Hold up. You know, I see certain ones that stuck out. Attitude reflects leadership, captain. He said the whole thing. You gotta know, if you know, you know. But yeah. All right, let me get this off the screen. Man, I appreciate y'all. I really didn't prepare anything else after that, but yeah, more so just maybe if we're doing more, I guess the lesson for me would be, you know, do more reflecting throughout the year. You know, don't put too much pressure on ourselves. I think that's as if I was being self-critical or coaching myself, it would be like, bro, you're not that serious. You don't matter that much to the rest of the world. Relax. Give yourself some grace. All right. You know, whether things are perfect or you always could have done something wrong. You worried about 3 games ago, the play that you could have made, or you dropped a couple interceptions, all those games. Now it caused you to drop an interception in this game because your mindset is thinking all these different things. These are life lessons. Life lessons I'm trying to tell y'all. But I'm sure that you guys have your own experiences that you can learn from. You don't need to listen to my life lessons. And I'm sure that my experience isn't as unique, right? Maybe that's another life lesson. Our experiences are not that unique to where we think that we need to share, you know, our experiences maybe above others and whatnot. Because a lot of times we go through the same things. A lot of us, life teaches us a lot of the same lessons. Whether we learn from them or not, that's just on us. So I guess the takeaway that I would have would just be to, you know, give myself a little more grace, and you know, just never lose sight of the purpose. Never what did I put up that post? You know what I mean? I was very strong in saying the other day to never never feel that we have to rationalize the past to the point where it misleads us into the future. Maybe that's the same lesson that I can give to myself, where I would change it maybe slightly and say, you know, never let anything from the past distract us from what we can accomplish in the future. You know, never put too much of an emphasis on it. Never think about it too much. You know, you gotta humble yourself in ways. You gotta move the ego out of the way. You got to understand that everybody's not going to see the world exactly how you see it. Everybody's not going to be able to make the adjustments on your time. Like, it took you 7 days, or it took you 7 years, or 38 years to make these adjustments. Now you expect everybody else to make them as soon as you made them. It doesn't work like that. Everybody moves on their own time. And I think with that mindset, we can have some positive takeaways and just focusing on the now. You know, when we focus on the now and prioritize that, that's what's always going to be most important. So, yeah. So on that note, it's 10 o'clock. I appreciate y'all. I promise y'all I will go back and read all the comments. Um, I really appreciate. I'm grateful for all of y'all. I really am grateful. I'm appreciative, and I look forward to the future by focusing on the now. So, as I sit back and look at every day, I'm looking at how many subscribers we got on YouTube, and like, oh, I can't wait till we get to this number, get to that number. Why we ain't hit this number yet? I'm actually just super grateful that we are where we are right now. And rather than, like I said in that lesson, caring about, maybe making a difference in the world, I'm actually super appreciative that the people that, are watching and that are here, I form new relationships, a new family with. And a lot of the people are just the same people that I've been rocking with. You know what I mean? So, um, Queen said, "Happy born, brother. We almost have 40. Come on, Queez. The lesson is to focus on now. We at 38. You feel me? We at nah. But yeah, we almost at 40. So we need to learn that life lesson sooner than later to just focus on now and appreciate now, because I'll be totally honest, I don't feel any different than I felt at 18. I still feel like, things are a little different, things working a little differently. You try to lift certain weights and you're reminded all the time, or you try to go for a sprint and those hamstrings remind you. But yeah, it's man, life is amazing, bro. Life is amazing. So let's take our 45 seconds as we typically do, and as we always do, not typically. And let's just, whatever, maybe think about a life lesson. Think about some life lessons and think about how you can just apply the energy of now rather than dwelling on the past or thinking about the future. Just appreciating the now. I'm sure all of us are in positions that are not perfect or ideal or what we imagined it to be, or if I would have not made this mistake, then I wouldn't be in this position, or if I didn't waste that money, then I wouldn't be in this position. You know what I sometimes have to tell myself, and every time I do complain, and it's probably the hardest thing to do, because I still complain. I complain to Maya, I complain to my parents, I complain, and a lot of it's just, and it's all just a test. And I know that this is all a test. When you're getting ready to get to that next step, it's like that's when you get tested the most. That's when something may be taken away from you to see how bad you want that other thing. And I know for me, it's more so like this is the life lesson that I should have had. You know what allows me to not dwell on the past, or to not be so anxious and stressed out about the future? Stop bitching. Excuse my language, but bro, stop bitching. Life is amazing. Most of us got great lives that people would risk and sacrifice anything for. Stop bitching, bro. Enjoy life. Enjoy your loved ones. Be appreciative. Be appreciative. Um, don't be a Grinch. Probably the first 10 hours and 6 minutes of my birthday, I was probably being a Grinch. I know I was being a Grinch. It's just me being totally honest. It's me. Maybe it's an insecurity. I don't think it's just something that I just struggle with. It's just something that I struggle with. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's do 45 seconds and we'll start that now. Close your eyes, but just think about whatever it is you need to think of. Of course, do your breath work. Every exhale is getting rid of that negative energy. Every inhale is inhaling all the positive. But yeah. And shout out to Vons. Vons wrote, "Life is short and health is better than wealth." I'll take it, OG. I'll take it, OG. 45 seconds. Let's start now. All right, one last exhale. So if you saw me, you probably saw me open my eyes up early. I was like, yo, If I'm gonna be listening to this song all day, man. If y'all never heard this song, it's like popular on Instagram, I think. But it's the energy. I can't play too much of it because they're probably gonna not monetize it, but we not worried about that. But it's by Busy Signal. It's Busy Signal. You got to remind yourself. So that's what we on for today. That's what we on for today, yo. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. If I stay on any longer, I'm gonna shed a tear with y'all. So let me get up out of here. Y'all know we here to do elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, challenging ourselves to become the best leaders we can become, to accomplish these amazing goals that we set out to accomplish, and to just enjoy life, man. To just enjoy life, to spread more love, and to spread more positivity. But just I guess to spread love, we got to become love. All right. Y'all, since Diddy can't hold it down right now, and I know he was calling himself Brother Love, the rest of us got to hold it. See, I shouldn't even have gone that way. Y'all know I can't help clown a little bit, but Diddy was calling himself Brother Love for y'all. But I didn't took that whole serious moment, and I can't help it. I can't help it. But spread more love. Yeah, more. We need more Afro beats, more Bob Marley. We need all that. We need more love and energy in the air, and just positivity, less division. We have fun with our political talk, but at the end of the day, we all in this together. I think let me leave it with this before I end up on here for 20 more minutes. Just think about it like this. Out of all, however many years that are on this planet, many people that have been on this planet, we're all here together at the same time, and we're all going to be judged according to, yeah, what did those people do? What did that generation do? What they doing from the 1900s to the 2000, like early 2000s? What were they doing over there? Let's when they look back at it, let's just say, yo, they spread love. They elevated the frequency. They had a positivity that was unmatched with the rest of the world during a time that we needed it the most. So what do I always finish off with? I don't even know where I'm at, but strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know, get to that bag. Get to that bag. Yo, the bag is, I'm changing the bag up. We changing the bag up. It's still peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. But it's, what else am I adding to the bag? Some grace. Let's add some grace in there. So peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, integrity, and let's lead with grace and lead with love. I'd appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. We still got the energy, right? But salute to all y'all, and I appreciate it. Have a good one.